Fine. So in the last session, we completed receivables. Okay, we completed receivables. So we use the name called as Cloud INC, right? For all the configurations, we use the name called as Cloud INC, and we plan to move to the next application called as next. Yes, we discussed as a O2C. We completed here. We just plan to go with the O2C. After O2C, so cash management, then finally FA. Since there are some issues with this instance, again I did the configuration and all. This time I use the name called as Google. Okay, by using this name I just completed the ledger definition and the other definitions. From now we'll be going with this name instead of using the Cloud INC to test cash management cache management reconciliations or O2C, like they're all complete setups need to be ready. So we don't have any transactional data and all. What I'm going to do is we'll go with FA. Anyway, it's an independent application. So we'll start with FA after completing fixed assets. By the time just I'll keep the data which is required for cash management, other inventory and purchase related setups also, because when you are going to work on O2C also, the basic purchasing configuration also mandatory. So that is the reason I will just keep required data and configuration for these two areas so that we can work on it. So in the today's session, what we are going to do is we'll see the FA configuration and the transaction flow. After completing FA, we can start with the O2C, then cash management. Finally, we'll move to GL. Before that, we'll work on fusion tax and the fusion expense also. And again, few pending topics we have, we'll be focusing on that. So this is the naming convention we are going to use. Okay, Google instead of Cloud INC in this instance, and we'll start with the FA. Okay, any questions from anyone here, please? Okay, so we'll start with this. Any questions? Yes, we'll discuss. Fine, done. So when you talk about fixed assets, these are the basic setups we have to complete. As we know, we have three key flex fields in EBS, the same they're continuing in the Fusion applications also. Those are category, location, and asset key flex fields. We know very well in EBS, we cannot create more than one structure for one key flex field. For category, we can create only one chart of account, one category key flex field structure. For location and asset key, the same applicable. But in the Fusion applications, you can create more than one, but you can use only one. Finally, this is equal to how that practice works in EBS case. Only the advantage, system will allow you to create more than one category, location and asset key flex field structures. But system always will make sure that only one active structure we have. The active structure only will be selecting as a part of system controls. We know in EBS also we do the system controls configuration where we select the chart of category, location and asset key flex field structures. So in how it works in EBS, in the same way we have to do in the Fusion applications also, but only the advantage is you can create more than one structure, that you may just use that option for maybe for practice purpose. More than that we cannot use. In EBS or Fusion, logic is same, but in EBS you can create only one, the same you can use, but in the Fusion you can create more than one, but you can use only one. Okay, that's how it works. Anyway, we'll go and see that. First, we'll go and create the value sets for the three key flex fields. After creating the value sets for three key flex fields, we'll create the structures for three key flex fields. After that, we'll create the instances and we'll create the required segment values. Then we'll proceed with the rest of FA related configuration. Okay. So now what we'll do is first category key flex field. For category, we'll create two value sets. One we'll create as a major segment, or say major category. Another one is minor category. Okay, major category and a minor category. And for location, we'll create say country, state, city. Anyway, this is just for testing. So we cannot use these definitions which we are going to create just to understand how these value sets, structures, and instances can be created for fixed assets. This whatever we are going to do that directly we can do in the fresh instance, but in this instance, since this is a visual instance, already sample definitions are actually created. Those are being used. We cannot override it. Okay, we'll see that. Asset key like will create only one segment. Done. After that, for this three, we'll create the structures and instances. We'll see that. Okay, first we'll go and create the value sets for category key flex field. So we are using the name called as Google here. So asset flex. Okay. So here we have a task called as manage fixed assets flex field value sets. So all the tasks you can see in the sequence only. So the first we have to create the value sets, then we have to create the flex field structures, then manage system controls physically here. Okay, and the locations if you want to define the conventions or else calendars, period conventions. You could see all in the sequence. We'll go one by one. First we'll go and create the value sets for these three key flex fields. Okay, first major category. So create. So are using the name called as Google now. So Google major category segment value set. Take the same name as a description. So module is assets. Select assets. So validation type independent. Value data type is character. Say value subtype text. Length. So maximum length. When you create the major category name, how many characters you want to enter the name? Say 30 characters. Say save and close. We created major category value set. Now we'll create the minor. So create minor category. So module is assets. Validation is independent. Value data type character. Value subtype text. Say 30 characters. The name what we'll be entering as a minor category value can be entered with max 30 characters. So, sorry. Here it's a minor, right? Let's select it as a dependent. I just selected as independent. We'll change it. Search for the same value set. Say edit. Okay, this is what we'll do is it's got freeze, right? I'm just changing the name. The description I changed. We'll create one more. So since it's a minor, it's always depend on major values so that we can have a filtration. So you can choose as a, this is a dependent value set. So character, value subtype text, maximum say 30. Now we have to specify if it is dependent value set, this will depend on which independent value set. The independent value set is Google major category. Find that. Okay. So we created two value sets for category key flex field. Now we'll create three value sets for location key flex field. Okay, the country, state, and city. Now, so create country. Select module as assets. Validation type is independent. Character. Value subtype text. The country name you want to enter in how many characters? So max 20 if required. Say save and close. The next value set we require for location key flex field is state. So Google state. So module is assets. So validation type. So since it's state, it will be under country. You can just make it as if you want to have a filtration of the values by creating the dependent value set. You can select as dependent, or else straight away you can go with independent. How we require, we have to select. Anyway, we know how to create independent and dependent value sets. So let's select it as a independent. So text 20 characters. Let's say save and close. So create, and one more value set we require for city. So Google city. Independent. Character. You may make it as a dependent also on state value set. So length is 20 characters. So save and close. And we have one more key flex field called as asset key flex field. For that we'll create one value set. Okay. So create Google asset key. And select module as assets. So validation type is independent. Value data type is character. Subtype text. Length is 20 characters. So done. We created value sets for these three segments, three key flex fields. Done. You can say save and close. The next step is we have to create the fixed assets key flex field. Nothing but fixed assets key flex field structures. For these three key flex fields, we have to create the structures. Okay, first we'll create the structure for category key flex field. So task is manage fixed assets key flex field. Click on go to task icon. So search for category key flex field. Open the screen, right? What is that? Fine, we'll try it again. Yeah. Search for category key flex field structure. Category key flex field. We can see the name as category flex field, right? So we don't see within the name as a key, but reality that is a key flex field. So category flex field, which is available within the assets. Now we can go and create the category flex field structure. So click on manage structures and say create. Before that, you just verify how many flex field structures are available. This is the one which would be available as a part of Vision instance. This is the one somebody is created. So out of this two, only one you could see as active, which you are using already or which you want to use. Okay, only one active structure you can use. Only one you can enable at a time. Okay. Now we'll just proceed with this. We'll create our own chart of this category key flexible structure just to understand. Otherwise, we'll be using this only. Okay. Fine. We'll see that how to create in fresh instance. If we are going to create the structure for category, what process we follow. If you remember chart of account structure definition, it is equal to that only. Fine. We'll see that. Give the name as Google category flex field. And here the same name you can take. So delimiter, nothing but segment separator. And here it's enabled, right? If you try to save it, system gives a message only. Okay, you must enter no more than one enabled structure. You can have only one. Reason is FA allows only one structure to use in the setup process, the instance level, right? So now just we are creating for testing purpose to understand. So you can disable this, and now you can save it will allow. Add segments here. Whatever we plan for two segments. One is major, other one is minor. Okay. So major category. So first segment. Okay, display width 30, and here column name. So what are the segment numbers we have? I mean, like maximum how many segments you can create in EBS? The number remains same. In EBS we can create 7 segments for category and 7 segments for location key flex field. When you talk about asset key, we can create up to 10 segments. The same rule is applicable in Fusion also. Here max you can create 7 segments only. EBS also same. So assign the value set to major category segment. They given the name as Google major category. Select and say okay. And just assign the label called as major category. So major category label to major category segment. And say save and close. Create one more segment within the same structure. Say create. Name is minor category. sequence number say 2, short prompt, display width say 30, column name segment 2, assign minor category value set to minor category segment. So Google minor, this is the one which you have to select, right? For minor segment you can assign minor category segment label, say save and close. Just say save and close, click on done. Okay, we created structure. Let me just mark the setups which we completed. We created category key flex fill structure. Now directly we'll go and create the instance for the same. Okay, for a category structure we created, we are going to create category key flex fill structure instance. So manage structure instances. So create, you can just provide the name Google category flex. So structure names. Okay, Google category flex fill. So mark these two segments as required. Minor category. Say save and close. Okay, the deployment status is edited. So submit this category flex fill for deployment. Okay, so deployed. So deployed. So instance also ready for category key flex fill. Now we'll go with the location. So we'll create the location key flex fill structure. So search for location. So location flex fill. Click on manage structures. Say create. Say Google location flex fill. Select delimiter. It's nothing but segment separator. Now already we have one active location flex fill structure. Okay, only one we can have for any key flex fill within the fixed assets. So system won't allow more than one as enabled, so disable it. Save it. Now create the segments. So we plan to have 3 segments. So for that reason we created 3 value sets also, right? So first segment is say country. Same name you can copy and paste wherever it is required. So first segment, prompt same, short prompt same. So display width say 20 characters. So column name. Here also you can have a max 7 segments. Select segment 1. Click on search. Google country value set, and say save and close. And we have to create two more segments. We can say state. The second segment and the prompt state short prompt also say display with this 20 characters, and select segment as a 2 and assign the value set called as Google state. Select and say OK. So since the state, you can map the state segment label, which allows you to track the property tags if it is applicable. Right, say save and close. Create. The other segment is city. So third segment, segment number is 3. Third segment, assign value set. Say save and close. Say save and close. Say done. So we created location flex field structure. Now we have to create the instance for the same. To create the instance, click on manage structure instances. Say create. So if you check, already there is instance. This is a part of vision instance. Vision as a part of vision location. Asset location flex field already they created. This is the one someone created for their practice purpose. Okay, we will create our own. So create Google location flex. Select our location flex field structure. So enable these 3 segments as required. Country, click on edit, mark it as required. Say OK. State, click on edit, say required, say OK. So these 2 are marked as required. The other segment is city. Select, click on edit, say required, say OK. So click on done. Now we created structure undo structure instance for location flex field. The deployment status is edited. Now we have to submit location flex field for deployment. Fine. So deployed. Now we have one more key flex field called as asset key flex field. So we'll go and create the structure and we'll create the instance against the same structure. Just search for asset key flex field. So key flex field name is asset key flex field. Click on manage structures. So here also you could say only one active structure and other structures just you may create but you cannot use. Only one you can use in one instance. Same rule as EBS, but here the flexibilities system will allow you to create, but in EBS case it won't allow. Okay, fine. We'll create new structure for asset key. Okay, Google asset key flex field. So delimiter. So disable it, otherwise it won't allow you. Save it. So we just plan to have only one segment. That is the reason we create only one value set. The name we can give asset key. Name same, description same. Segment is first segment. Prompt, short prompt same. Display width say 20 characters. Okay. And column name. Here you can create max 10 segments for asset key flex field. Okay. Select its first segment. Assign Google asset key value set to asset key segment. Say save and close. So we created structure. Now we have to create the instance. Just click on manage structure instances. So create. So name we can give Google asset key flex. So select structure Google asset key flex field. Only one segment we have, just mark as required. So save and close. After creating the structure and instance, we have to deploy, right? So the deployment status is edited, submit for deployment. Okay, done. Okay, so create segment values for 3 key flex fields. Okay, key flex field related segments. So before that, we'll go to the configure system controls. Based on that, we'll take decision where we have to create the segment values. Okay, that means in which value set we have to create. Whatever we created within that, if you create that, you cannot use anyway. The reason this is a Vision instance. So just we'll go to configure system controls. Go to system controls. So manage system controls. So one-time setup at instance level in EBS as well as Vision. Okay, here you may change the name. So we know this name will be appearing in the reports when you run in fixed assets. Maybe you may give Google Corporation. And for category flex field, location flex field as well as asset key flex field, for our 3 key flex fields, the instances are selected. Category, location and asset key. Okay. Asset numbering also already configured. Now we cannot change it. If it is a fresh instance, yes, here we'll be able to select whatever we created just now. Since the Vision instance as a part of Vision definition, whatever they defined already they selected. Now only the option is we have to go with only these instances: category, location, asset key. Now what we'll do is, within this category, location and asset key, what are the value sets are being used, those we'll find out so that we can enter the relevant values into respective value sets. Those we can use in the transaction process. Okay, these are not structure names, instance names which they created. Instance names are category for category flex field. Location, asset key. Now we'll go to the instances and we'll verify what value sets are associated with the respective segments. So just go back to previous task. First location. Just we'll make a note, okay, so that will with that reference we can create the values. Go to instances, click on search. So this is the one which is mapped in the system controls, right? So select it, click on edit. Okay. For location they are using three value sets: FA country, FA state or county, and FA city, FA building. Okay. So those are the for location. FA country value set name. Okay. FA state or county. FA city and FA building. So these for location. Check for category. Go to manage structure instances. So it's the system controls. Okay, this is one we have, right, which is mapped. Select it, click on edit. Okay, what are the value sets? They already defined. FA major category, FA minor category. Naming convention they given. For category FA major category, FA minor category. Done. And we have one more key flex field called as location. We'll see which name they given. Select location, key flex field structure instance, click on edit. Sorry, location already taken, right? Asset key already be taken for location. Now we have to look at asset key. Go to structure instances. So it's asset key. Select, click on edit. The value set name for asset key flex field segment is FA asset key. Okay, done. So these are the different value sets are used in the respective instances which are created as a part of instance which are selected in the system controls. Whatever the instances are selected in the system controls, we have to proceed with only those. You cannot override. This is a one-time setup which is at instance level. Okay, it's instance level setup. So whatever is selected, we have to proceed with that. Right. Now we'll just go and see that. Now will I think in this location and all, we can use existing values which are available in this location or state. Anyway, we'll just go one by one. We'll verify. If we require, we'll create values, or else we can go with the existing values. First, we'll go with this value set. FA country. Go to value sets task. Scroll little up. We have value sets. The value set name is FA country search. Go to manage values. Click on search. Within this value set, what are the values we have, we can find. Just wait for a while. It is fetching. Okay, already you could see few countries are exist. USA, UK, and all. Fine. So anyway, countries are there as a part of this value set. No issues. Now states. If values are not there, we'll create the value so that we can use when you create the assets. So state value set. Click on manage values. Click on search. Yes, state definitions also we have state or county definitions. Okay, we can use this data. Next one, city. Manage values. Click on search. So we have data for cities also. Okay, within the city value set, we have multiple cities. Okay. Other value set is FA building. Search. So manage values. Click on search to find out which values we have as a part of this. 4 values they given. When we create asset, all the time we may not map that asset definition to the building. If the asset is going to be within the building, we have to specify the building. Otherwise, at least we should have one value called as none, not applicable. We'll just add that value here. One second. Yeah. So we'll just keep one value as a none. That means when you are creating asset, that asset is not belongs to any building, you may select this value as a not applicable. Attribute value in this module application required. What's wrong with this? Yeah, now it's accepted. We'll check it whether it's stored or not. None is saved. Done. Fine. So when you create asset, we require locations related information. What are the value sets we have as a part of the predefined structure? The related within the related value sets, we have a data. Done. Now we'll look at category. Okay, for category we have two value sets. We'll make sure that we have a required categories. We'll create our own categories. So FA major category. So manage values. Search. So we have many category values, but we'll create our own category values. These might be already used. Okay, this might be in the usage. So we'll have our own category value so that we can create the new category definition with the same combination. Okay. Here what we'll do is say create, give the name as, just for identification purpose, you can say Google buildings. Okay, just I'm creating one value. So save and done. The major category, just we create only one value. We'll create one or more than one values within the minor category. Say manage values, search. So we can find many here, but we'll create our own values so that when we create the category, we can use the new combination with our values. So open the space, scroll little up. So here we'll say office buildings. And these values will be under which independent value? Under Google buildings. Okay, we'll add one more value. So it should be uppercase. Fine. Click on add. Scroll up, you could see open space. Other category for this buildings is a shopping complex or commercial. Select independent value set. Okay, select independent value set value. That Google buildings. That these two are enough. So these two values means it will allow us to create two categories. Okay, so save and close. Okay, so we created values for this major minor. Now we'll just check what are the values are available within the FA asset key value set. So go to manage values. Okay, these are the values available. So maybe sometimes you want to specify the set key value as maybe none if it is not applicable, or else anyway it's not mandatory also. But just I'm keeping one value as a none. Wherever the category asset key tagging is not required, I may just select a value called as none. So save and close. Okay. Now all the value sets we have a values and a few values we added, and most of the values we are going to use which are already part of that value set as a part of vision definition. But so now just we completed this step also. Create segment values for three key flex fields. But these already exist. Major and minor we just added one and two values. Here one value enough anyway. Finally, for all the value sets, all the here value sets, I just we mentioned here are segments. For all the value set, values are available. Now we have to set up system control. So this is a one-time setup already. In this instance you could say as completed, since it's a vision instance. Only in case of fresh instance, once you navigate to system controls, all the fields will be open. You can select, once you select and save it, all will be freezed. You cannot overwrite. Okay, so these are the structure instance names. Okay, category flex field, structure instance name is category. Location flex field, structure instance name is location. Asset key flex field, structure instance name is asset key. And asset numbering also specified already. Last asset number used is 1 lakh. I think it's a 1,11,996. Okay. So only in the fresh instance we'll be able to select whatever we define. Since vision, whatever already selected, we have to go with that. No other option. Fine. So this is the point we have to notice. This is a one-time setup which works at instance level. So here we cannot do that. Just we gone through that. Now we can go on to create the physical year calendar. Physical year. So where we can specify the year ranges for existing assets. So manage physical years. Click on go to task icon. Say create. The name we can provide as Google Physical. The same name we can take as a description. Maybe say for USA. Okay, up to this name and description you have to save, so the system will enable add years function here. Save. Now click on add. When you talk about physical years, it's all about year ranges. So with which year ranges we have assets. Physical year, we can create the physical year calendar, say from 2017. Reality will create from past based on the assets which are available. Very oldest asset from which year we have, but here for our testing we can just go to the 2017. So this year start date and end date. This, if you click on this, it is not getting selected. You can use the enter from keyboard, it will get selected. And this year start date is Jan 1st 17, end date 31st December. Okay, up to here you can save. In case of EBS, when you create the physical year, we just provide one record and we use the down arrow. Since there is a form, okay, we can use the down arrow. Automatically system will be adding the years here. This is not a form, this is a web page. So they given the logic of creating the physical years automatically by hitting on this add new row. Just click on add new, it will add years automatically. 2018, 19, 20. So this is how just you can add the physical years into your physical year calendar. Enough. Say save and close. Fine, we're done with this. Now we have to create the depreciation calendar, or we may call it as asset calendar. We'll go and create the depreciation calendar to calculate the depreciation within those physical years. Here we have a task called as manage asset calendars. Click on go to task icon. Click on create. So we know very well when you create the depreciation calendar, asset calendar, the period name should match with the accounting calendar period name. In EBS case, we have to create through manual process, or else we'll be inputting the period name when you create the accounting calendar, so that in that case you may give all uppercase, lowercase, or different format. But in case of Fusion, it is auto created accounting calendar in GL. Which format it follows, we know for the periods. The same will follow for this depreciation calendar also. We'll see that. So you can give the name. Okay, it won't accept long name, so I'm just giving the short name. Here I can write as Google depreciation calendar. Select physical year, within which physical year you want to create the depreciation calendar. Google fiscal, and periods per year, 12 periods, and periods suffix you can keep as fiscal, so that automatic system will be adding the year as a suffix for the period which you are going to enter. Now go to period. In accounting calendar, system created period as, if it is John, J capital, A N small, and hyphen and year, right? Say 70. So this is a period name. We have as it is in our accounting calendar. The same we have to map, same we have to follow, otherwise it won't get synchronized, so that you cannot transfer FA data to GL, which is related to depreciation or any data. Okay, make sure that you are following the period naming same as accounting calendar. Okay, this is how we have within our accounting calendar the same period naming conventional format I am following. So now this period start date and end date.
Maximum, do we have the adjustment period for the FA? No, right?
FA no, FA it's a depreciation calculation, right? All the adjustments will do in the GL side. Here no,
Okay.
not applicable. Yeah, fine. So it's not getting selected. Use enter. So this period starts Jan 1st, 17. When this period ends, this period ends Jan 17, 31st. Now just save it. Now click on add. Just enter Feb. Follow the same format. It's a case sensitive again. Enter Feb. The rest it will take, since your period suffix you give, and the suffix it will add automatically. You don't need to give hyphen 17. Just add Feb and click on add new row. It will take automatically. Done. You have to do it for 1 year minimum. Then rest it will add automatically. March add. April, add May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay. So from now, from John 18, automatically system will add the periods. You don't need to input any period name. Already you given the period names for 1 year. That would be enough to create the periods for other years. So you just keep hitting on this, and it will create the periods for rest of years which are part of your physical year. So at least make sure that you are creating the depreciation calendar periods at least for the current year, so that we'll be able to test. Okay, we'll just go and create up to 19, no issues. Or you can create up to 18 only, no issue. And just you may keep some additional periods also ready. So later point of time you can just come back to this definition and you can add it. Fine. So October, November, December. Done. Enough. So save and close. So we create a depreciation calendar. Now we'll go and create the prorate convention. Okay, prorate convention. So here we have a manage prorate conventions. So we know this, right? Just it's in the first and last period of asset means when you place asset in the service or when you return the asset from service, how depreciation need to be calculated. So you can give the prorate convention as say. So our requirement is irrespective of asset when you place in the service or return the asset, you want to calculate the full month depreciation. By taking that as an example, we'll create prorate convention as a full month. So Google full month. It is not taking more than these characters. Just remove the space. I will say full month. So reference data set, you can go with a common set. Yep. You can go with a common. And physical year, Google physical, and prorate dates, full month. If you place the asset in the service or if you retire the asset from the service within this date range, the date range is from 1st Jan 1st 17 to 31st Jan 31st 17. If any asset is placed in placed in service or retired from this date range, the depreciation need to be calculated from which date? From the month beginning, full month. So that you can specify. So
What is the mid of the month?
what is the
Another prorate convention. Middle of the month, like prorate convention.
middle of
Starting
the
from the
month
middle.
in the sense what you have to do is so start. Okay, you can create the multiple rules in EBS also. Same practice we follow. When we talk about that, so mid of the month, you see some companies may have following month. If you place the asset in the service or return the asset in the from the service within this date range, that prorate date may be next month first onwards system has to calculate. That means following month. Or else the rule may be, if you place asset in the service in between like 1st Jan to 15th of Jan, it should calculate from 1st. If the asset is placed in the service or return the asset from the service between 16th to month end, that could be 30th or 31st, the depreciation from 16th onwards. In that case, prorate date you can specify here as 16th. In that case, for the same 1 month, we will be creating the 2 rows. Okay, 1 to 15 from beginning, 1 to 16 to 30th or 31st, prorate date is 16th. Or else you may create prorate date as daily also. If you have a requirement, say I placed asset in the service today is 25th, system has to calculate the depreciation from 25th only. Or else I am going to return the asset from the service on 25th today. That means till today system has to calculate. In that case, start date and date will give 1st Jan to 1st Jan, prorate date also 1st Jan. 2nd Jan to 2nd Jan, prorate date also 2nd. That means daily depreciation. Same how you create in EBS, the same we are creating here. Same rule, no changes in that prorate convention. Okay.
Lakshman,
Yeah.
this fixed assets is not operating unit based, right? Like, it's not a business unit.
Yeah,
Why did they give this reference data set though? Yeah.
see, it is reference data set is not for the BU purpose. Okay, not BU purpose. It can be used in any application. So basically, in the fixed assets, we just manage with the books, right? We create the corporate book and all, right? In the book level, you can use these controls. So in case of,
Oh,
okay, that is a point.
got it. Yeah.
So in case of business unit, reference data sets we are mapping at BU level. This is the book level. Book level you can map this reference data set. Fine. So just you can click on add. System will keep adding the prorate dates. So any month, the depreciation should start from beginning of the month. If you place asset or retire the asset from the service in between any date of the period, any period. So create prorate convention at least up to current year. This will create up to 2018 December. So June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Done. So save and close. Click on that. So prorate calendar, anyway we are taking the full month, so depreciation calendar only we can use as a prorate calendar. Okay, the same we can use since full month. Now we'll go and create the asset book, or call it as corporate book or asset register, any name you can use. Fine, we'll just go and define it. Here we have a task called as manage asset books. Click on go to task icon.
Lakshman, for asset books, what kind of valuation for an SLA valuation method? Is it still same as what EBIS is? Because the
Same
valuation method.
how it will derive the values, from where it will derive. Okay, the cost center value or balance and segment values that remain as it is. If you want,
No, I mean what the valuation method is going to do is you have 4 assets and some other modules. In your secondary ledger, if you define a secondary book, right? You have to go and do create accounting in your secondary book also.
yeah,
SLA defines a multiple representation of accounting, right? For say in case of purchasing, if you had a secondary ledger, you do create accounting once. The account reflection is going to happen in your secondary book as well. But for assets, when you define SLA out of the box for EBS also, the valuation method, I don't remember what value, but it is done differently so that you have to create accounting for your
Separate.
secondary books and also, yeah. So is it the same thing here?
Same process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Fine. Now you can just go and create our asset book or call it as corporate book. Basically, we call it a corporate book in terms of definition. Okay, here definition they're given as a asset book, but when you see that naming convention, it's a corporate book. So we'll give the name here, say Google corporate book. I think look for uppercase. So go with uppercase Google corporate book. Here you can write the description as a Google corporate book. So book classification is corporate, it's not a tax book, right? So corporate only. And associated corporate book is same. And ledger, we have to map our ledger with the corporate book so that within this corporate book, what are the assets we create for all the definitions, we can use the same. Finally, we can interface the data to the same ledger. So our ledger name is Google USA Primary Ledger. Google USA Primary Ledger, select. And depreciation calendar, Google depreciation calendar. And prorate calendar, same system is defaulting. Yes, we are going to use the same since our prorate convention is full month. So current period, then select the current period, search July 18. Directly search it is not responding. Search. Let's start with we have so July 8. Okay, so divide evenly. Yes, we are going to calculate full month. That is the reason. Yes, evenly we can keep if we are going to calculate daily depreciation. We know like prorate convention we have to create daily base and we will be selecting the divide depreciation as a by days. Right, same as EBS. And here we can enable the checkbox allow ledger posting and provide all these mandatory accounts. The default account which will be used by account generator, company, department will check any just that default account is available. I think it's there. You can select any default account to complete this. And you can provide the accounts based on the label name. Okay, net book value, rated gain, loss, proceeds of sale, gain, loss, the clearing account, cost of removal, gain and loss, all these you can provide. So here just it's we are going to do just testing. So you can go with any one of the valid account, just any one of the account you can select. System is not going to have any validation, right? Just you can fill any one of the value to complete this setup. So reality will be going with the actual values as per the label, right? Here you can fill with just you can go with a random account, no issues. Now here you have to do the mapping, the reference data set. Okay, book we are creating. So when at the time of the definition, okay, we selected a common set. Okay, throughout all the definitions we are going to use the common. So here by default the reference data set system is taking as enterprise. You can change to common. you can go with a common. So you can copy this value and paste. So that's how just you can select which reference data set you want to use for your book.
So this enterprise reference data set is by default, and what is the purpose? I think you told us.
Yeah, only two reference data set values you can find as a common and enterprise. See, it's just names they given. Common means you can use across. Enterprise means you may use this definition for specific enterprise, specific country.
Okay.
But you can create your own, right? How you required you can create, but just name
Yes.
they given in that way. But total two they given. That's it.
Lakshman, what is this rules? Is it like a tax rules, or when we are defining the books, we have different tabs in the EBS 12?
No, which
So we have the tab, the rules here.
rules means these are not rules. Like, see, it's very simple. What data a reference data set will do? It will define some data access privileges. Okay, say for example, this is our corporate book. Okay, this is our corporate book. So asset retirement types we have. Okay, asset retirement types we have. When we are creating the new asset retirement types, we have to select the reference data set. If I select the reference data set as a common, okay, our book also common is there, so that when you go to our book, what are the retirement types you created, those would be available. This all just comes under data sharing rules. That is the reason the title they given as a rules. It will impose some
So which means you have a setup in some other place. You are just referring those setups to this book. Is that correct?
These are the setups. Say you are going to create the bonus rule. There you have to select the reference data set. You are creating asset description, predefined asset descriptions you can create, right? For asset description, you have to select the reference data set. This for all these. So these are all in the BU level. We have seen payment terms and all, right? Reference data objects.
Correct.
These are related to FA related reference data objects.
So this is only in Fusion. We don't have in that.
No,
EBS,
we
right?
don't have here to access to give these definitions. Access is required for which books through which reference data set.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thanks. Here, rule means reality. It's not a rule. They're given as a name as a rule. Reality, it's all about the data sharing access. Okay, reference data set. Done. So this is how just we have to provide the information, then say save and close. This is how we can create our corporate book. So just we're done with that. Tax book we'll do later when we are going to work on mass copy functionality. We'll create the tax book and we'll be working in this stage, not required. I'm just marking it as a pending. So now we'll go and create the asset category. Okay. So I think like it's 7:30. So we'll do in tomorrow's session. In tomorrow's session we'll create the category and we'll assign the FA roles to user, and we have to associate our corporate book to the user specific roles and as data access for user. Then we can start working on asset creation. We'll see that manual editing.
Lakshman, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
If I had to, whenever I create an asset,
Okay.
either in its first period or in the last period, I don't want to do depreciation. Does Oracle have does Cloud have any solution for that?
See, it's a simple. If you want in EBS, what we do, you created asset.
Yeah.
You don't want to calculate depreciation. What you do in EBS, same will do. Generally, I have an asset. I don't want
In
to.
EBS, you don't have out of the box. You don't have a solution because you create an asset. It creates because your period, the way you define your depreciation calendar,
Yeah.
is your, if
Simple.
you do it monthly, mhm.
No, we have a workarounds, right, for everything. See, what we do is say you are
There is a
fixing.
there is a flag, right? You
Yeah.
depreciate.
That is the point. We have to uncheck it. For the
Yeah.
entire
So the
category, if you don't want to calculate depreciation, so in the
understand.
default section, you
I
have
mean,
to
that is a customization. So I was trying to say now that you
customization. No,
SaaS, you can.
no, it's not a customization. Just it's a simple workaround where you'll go and disable. Then system won't pick that for depreciation cal. No, we don't have some other solution when you compare with the
Yeah.
same way.
Understand. Okay. That's yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Got it.
So just doubt is like for a particular asset you don't want to call depreciation, you can disable the checkbox, it will stop.
For a asset level, you
Yeah.
can do that. Asset level, go
Oh,
to asset and
asset.
disable depreciation. So for specific asset, it won't calculate depreciation. For entire category, say you created asset called as a category called as land. So if
Okay.
there is land for no land, it should calculate depreciation, right? So do it as category for all the assets. Same rule will be applicable. Or else you want to do for specific, you can go to asset level from as a category to asset system will do default this depreciation checkbox, right? So that you can override it asset level only for that asset. It won't calculate for rest of assets which are in the same category. It will calculate. It's like simple workaround. We use it if there is scenario where we have to bypass the depreciation calculation for specific asset or specific category of asset. Same rule is applicable here. We don't have a separate option Oracle given in case of Fusion. Frankly speaking, just almost the same product functionality they taken into Fusion from EBS.
No, the only reason I asked this question is
Yeah.
Oracle. I had conversations with Oracle development on this fact. They said that in future releases it will release. So I was just
Yeah.
hoping
It
that solution may have come.
may come, but as of now, till this release has been, we don't see
Yeah,
anything.
understand. I got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. So we'll connect tomorrow. Okay, we'll continue from here, and I'll make sure that there won't be any delays in taking the classes. Even if there is issue with instance, I'll just keep one other buffer instance also ready. Okay, so that if anything wrong with your one instance, we can continue with other instance. Okay, so we'll do that.
Lakshman, no problem. If it is delays, no issues. Everybody is experienced in this batch.
Yeah.
Everybody is having jobs. It's okay to get delayed. So that's fine. No problem. So
Great. Really, I should say thanks for everyone supporting, because we could not have sessions for week to 10 days. So thank you so much once again. And again, we'll just extend the instance access also as you require, 2 months or 3 months. No issues. I can extend up to 4 months. Okay. So since you are helping, I should help you if you need required. Okay, we'll do in that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Lakshman, can I call you?
Yeah, Pankaj, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe within 5
Okay, I'll call you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll connect tomorrow same time, and we'll continue from here. And tomorrow, just two, three setups we have. Once we're done with that, we can just jump into the asset creation and depreciation, and what are the other topics we have in FA. We'll be working on that in sequence. Okay. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night. See you tomorrow.